Recent polls have shown a widening gap in support for President Trump. And Joe Biden, as the country continues to deal with the coronavirus pandemic and widespread protests for the police reform, well, he's benefiting from all that. How are the political tides shifting during this time of crisis? With me is media analyst David Lamb, one of the best in the country. We can usually, we can count on what you say. I totally lost confidence in the last cycle. I mean, really, they can defend themselves all they want. It was a disaster. Yeah. So let's talk about this. What to you, as you see these trends taking place? I saw a Fox poll of 1,300 registered voters. Biden's 50%, Trump's 38%, a 4-point change. What does all this mean right now?
Yeah. So what it means is the Trump train is stalled at the depot while the Biden bus is barreling down the highway. A 4% bump. Biden continues that ascent. He is even outpacing not only Hillary Clinton, much more steady, but as his poll numbers continue to increase. The question for Trump campaign, Trump supporters, what has to happen to stall that Biden surge that continues to grow month by month?
Okay, Karl Rove's back. Right. The turd blossom returns.
He does.
Okay. We know we know what his game plan is.
He's got a bag of tricks.
His bag of tricks, law and order. Joe Biden's brain is fried.
Right.
The Dems are a disaster for the economy. Mm-hmm. If the Dems win, the entire United States is going to look like Chaz up in Seattle, Washington. Yeah. This is his game plan.
Yeah, it is.
And so what happens with this kind of movement? Fear?
Yes.
Tell me about the fear card. How does it figure?
So here's what's interesting. In that Fox News poll, what I found really interesting, other than just the numbers, is they were asked about passions and motivations. Take a look at these numbers, Pap. So when it comes to the fear of the other candidate, Biden supporters, 63% fear Trump. Trump supporters, 31% fear Biden, which basically non-existent. Enthusiasm for candidate, 31% of Biden supporters are excited about him. 63% Trump supporters excited about him. What has to happen is Trump has to demonize Joe Biden, make him scarier.
He's got to bring up the negatives.
Absolutely.
He's got to bring up the negatives on Biden. And this game plan, we will see it playing out. I thought it was really interesting. This thing about Biden's brain being fried. Mm-hmm. We've heard that it's just part of the talking point.
Right.
Now, to handle that, did you see the ad where they have Biden and Obama running down a hallway like we're healthy, right. There's no problem there, and then we have Trump looking just decrepit walking down a ramp. So that's part of it. That's the beginning.
That is.
How about the burning of the United States, that the United States is going to look like Chaz up in Seattle if these guys win? Do the numbers tell us anything? Fear.
Definitely fear. That also really affects those voters 65 plus. Those voters are so important because they show up at the polls and they have forever. The young voters, the millennials, get all the attention, but they're much less consistent than those 65-plus voters. Biden has a 10-point lead, which last election cycle, Trump won them by 8%. Election cycle before that, Mitt Romney won those 65-plus voters by 12. So basically a 20-point switch
Gore
there.
hit him like 61% or something crazy like that.
Gore was the last Dem to win.
Okay, so he has to pick up these voters. And fear is the best card. We've got this radical left that's supported by the Democrats. Mm-hmm. It's who they are. They're trying to burn down the country. They're tearing down statues. They're burning up cities. I thought it was interesting. Trump says, I'm going to let Chaz play out to let the American public look at it and understand that this is what the Dems want for America. Isn't that part of the Karl Rove plan?
That is definitely the plan. And the poll numbers actually back that up. A survey by 538, 60% of registered voters, we've heard this term defunding the police, 60% of registered voters oppose defunding police. Democrats oppose it 50 to 34, Republicans 84-11. But get this, another poll, do you support defunding the police? 34% of the country supports that, 7% of Republicans. Trump has to stay on message. Karl Rove is going to push him to do this. A lot of time in Tulsa was spent on a number of other things.
He was talking like a crazy man. If you listen to Trump, he was talking like a crazy man. And the interesting thing is, Rove is already there. Rove heard him say, look, our guys, he actually said something like, our guys, whatever that means, are tougher than you snowflakes, and you don't want to mess with. This is the president of the United States.
So off message. Trump has to target and be disciplined to ratchet up the fear of Biden, link him with the radical left, with the riots, with the protests, with the looting and the rioting. Right now, Trump is spending his time on all over the map. He's got to center that message
and
be
you
more
got
disciplined.
Biden still down in the cellar, and his handlers are so terrified to let him out of the cellar. Does he need to get out of the cellar? Maybe not. Maybe not.
Yeah, the Biden basement strategy, he has gained 4 points, Pat,
while he's been down in the cellar.
By doing nothing.
Okay. So now Trump wants more. He wants to have more debates.
Right.
Biden says 3. Have you ever seen numbers change in as few as 3 debates? Will that move the needle with a guy like Trump?
The clock is ticking, and Trump has to get more focused and more disciplined. But just think of what's happened in the past 4 months. There's been a great deal of change. There's been a great deal of movement. There's no reason to think a great deal more can't change back the other way.
Give me some comparisons. Is it even appropriate to draw comparisons between the Clinton disaster and what many people are going to say is going to be a Biden disaster? Any way to draw parallels?
I don't know that there are parallels because Biden's lead is more solid, more consistent, more steady. And Clinton's was all over the map. Clinton, from month to month, she went 10 points up to 2.5 points down. Biden has not shown that tenacity. But again, everything has been about Trump. It has been about Trump. And the strategy, just allow Trump to sink his own ship, and he's doing that.
Okay, so Karl Rove has to get in his head.
He's got to.
Shut up, stupid.
He's got to.
Shut up, stupid.
Stay on message.
Stay on message. This is the message. There's 6 points. Those 6 points I just gave, that's the message.
That's it.
Stick on it, and then everything's going to be okay. Now, is Trump's core stand with him?
They're showing some signs of weakness. I inside the Republican Party, and especially on down, the Senate races and all the other on down the ticket and down the ballot, there is concern. That's why I think he is getting pressured.
Rove is back because he's worried about the Senate race.
There is
3
legitimate
races
concern
that could go bad real quick. So it's kind of about Trump, but they're really looking at the Senate. There's some talk that maybe they flip the House. I don't see how they do it. They need 17. What, 17?
17.
Yeah.
I'm curious. Do you think Trump's going to listen to Rove?
No, I don't know. He's incapable. He just doesn't have the mental wherewithal.
I think that the GOP establishment, it's time they have to rally those troops.
Chamber of Commerce needs to say, you know what, pal, no more money until you start playing by our rules.
Got to get his attention.
Yeah. David Lamb, thank you for joining me. We're going to do this every other week.
See
what your thoughts are. That's all for tonight. Find us on Twitter and Facebook at facebook.com/RT America's Lawyer. You can watch all RT America programs on DirecTV channel 321. Also stream them live on YouTube. And be sure, check out RT's new portable app. It's not just about RT programs, it's about all the programs. I'm Mike Papantonio, and this is America's Lawyer, where every week we tell you stories that the media, corporate media, is ordered not to tell because their political connections don't allow it, and because their advertisers tell them under no circumstances may you tell that story. Have a great night.